As a self-defender, you must consider your spouse and your children in your defensive plans. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Shows us an armed robbery here that's very chaotic, and it's going to teach us some important lessons about family defense, about compliance in the face of armed robbers, and about getting out of the danger zone when the opportunity presents itself. So we see just a day here at this restaurant, and this guy walks in and gets handed a menu. I'm speeding things up just for the sake of time, and you can see there's a family at the counter and some more folks sitting at one of the tables. And this guy's just like, hey, I'm gonna order some stuff or whatever, till the waitress leaves, and he decides to pull a gun out here and chamber it and throw a bag at everybody, and the guy in the jacket there, and just announce an armed robbery. So we're gonna see him cross the counter here. Now we're gonna change over to the other angle, and you're gonna see him do it again and throw the bag to this dad, and you can see he's got a little boy and a lady with him, I'd assume his wife, whatever. And this guy's gonna go and start beating the tar out of everybody. Now we're gonna see our guy in the brown jacket here is trying to kind of keep him off his family and away from his family or whatever. And you see him get his wallet out there. And I think he actually took the cash out of his wallet there and stuck it in his pocket, and leaves his wallet out there on the counter as this guy's pointing guns at everybody. Now notice their son is still sitting there on his stool, and what are you gonna do there? They're not sure what they're gonna do is what the answer is. So he's finally got his wife's bag and all their wallets and whatever, and if we change the angle again, you're gonna see as the guy comes around the counter, he sticks the gun right in his forehead, kind of Wyatt Earp from Tombstone style there, and grabs his stuff, and thankfully he does not shoot him, and he's just gonna run off, and this one thankfully is over. Now, I wanna learn some lessons out of this one for all of us to be self-defenders. There are 8 lessons on our website. Make sure you click through the link in the description to read those. Let's talk about some of the most important ones here. And first of all, that these attacks happen when it's just an everyday, regular day. None of these people are looking for this kind of attack. And I don't see a lot of pre-attack cues, but when this guy decides to go, he chambers his firearm and announces his armed robbery. So you're always gonna be working out of the drop here, and you don't draw from the drop. If this guy in the brown jacket was armed, this wouldn't be the right time to draw a gun because he's got a gun pointed at him and the attention is on him. Instead, you gotta wait till you have the right time. Now, when is the right time is when the attention's not on you. Now, I wanna think for a bit here about these guys as parents. They've got a little guy here on the counter with them. Get your children to safety. You have to talk to your spouse about how to protect your children. And if your spouse is not a self-defender with you, they have to know their responsibilities to protect your children, to get them out of the danger zone behind concealment or cover while you deal with the problem. And you can see him here kind of trying to figure out, what do I do with my son here? They don't have a plan. It doesn't look like they have the skills or the attitude to protect themselves. And because of that, they're left at the mercy of an armed robber. That's why we talk about covering your ASP, your attitude, your skills, and your plan. So then that way you're ready in that moment and you have a preset amount of this is what I'm gonna do when, so that you can get to safety. And you see this guy now, he's still thinking, right? He's gonna get the money out of his wallet, so it's not like he's in vapor lock here. He's thinking about how to minimize the damage to himself. And if he had time to do that, that was his opportunity there. If he didn't think the guy was gonna catch him taking money out of his wallet, that was his opportunity to get to a firearm if he had it on him, if he was prepared to protect his family and end this threat. Because he didn't, they have to maintain this threat. They have to stay in this threatening environment. Now, she's gonna finally kind of go over here and pick the baby up, but I can't tell you enough, teach your spouse, if you do not have a self-defending spouse, to get behind concealment, to get out of the danger zone if possible, so that you don't stay in those kind of areas where danger can continue to come after you. Now, finally, if this guy was a self-defender, even if he wasn't armed, what we can see right there is he's got that gun pressed right up against him. And if you have a significant empty-handed skills and you didn't want to, stay in that kind of danger, that was his opportunity there. It's interesting that it's in his left hand, so he'd have probably had to go opposite from what most of us are taught in our martial arts classes, but he could easily there have taken that gun away from him in the moment and at least been in a fight with him. Thankfully, turned out okay here. The fact that they complied didn't cost him anything, but boy, it was a lot of danger. So let's learn the lessons here about pre-planning in advance with our spouses and how to take care of our children, about making sure that we're ready and our tools are on us so that we can cover our ASP.